you want to have a home, a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage, you must never downplay on your sexual life. You must have to get it right. And how do you get it right? All right, in this video, I want to share the 6 things men secretly want from women during sexual intercourse. And I think women should be very much aware of that because sex is one of the most vital things in a marriage relationship and it's not something you can joke with. If you're tired of losing your man to side checks or you feel like your man is not turning you on or giving you the best things that you feel you want or need in your relationship, it may be that your sexual life is not impacting him positively or impacting him well. You must understand that men don't joke with sex. In fact, men are so much in love with sex. They love sex, not because sex is a different thing for them. Like women also love sex, but men has some hormones that actually makes them to love sex passionately. Like, they don't just like sex, they love sex. And it's one thing you must understand. So if you're married, you must understand the things that are actually the lifeline of your marriage or marriage relationship. And one of it is our sexual, participation and sexual intimacy that we share. I've discovered that a lot of people don't pay close attention to their sexual life because somehow they don't feel like it's something that should come up for discussion. But most of the healthy homes you see today are ones who take care of their sexual life like very closely. They look into it and they prioritize their sexual intimacy. So if you feel that your man is not comfortable with your sexual life or you don't just know why he keeps going out, like looking out for some other kind of women, or you just have some kind of thought, or you just are not satisfied, from him. It may be that your sexual life or the way you go about your sex life with him, is not what he wanted or what he is really enjoying. Now, in this video, I want to share the secret things that you must know that every man wants from a woman. Like men are all the same, they are masculine beings, and we are feminine beings. Women are feminine beings. So if you want to get it right, like get it an A with your man. So in this video, I want to share it. You have to know that sex is very important in relationship, and that's why God never played down on it. Like I remember a scripture where the Bible recorded that even when you want to fast and pray, like excuse yourself from sexual intercourse with your partner and you want to fast and pray, that you should as well be fast about getting back on track with your partner because sex is very important. Sex is what you cannot do away with when you are in marriage, especially when you have chosen to marry. So if you want to participate in marriage, understand that you have the responsibility of satisfying your spouse. It is your responsibility. Yes, you have to, because if you don't, you are kind of, exposing your spouse to a life that you may not enjoy. Like many people cry that their spouse is cheating on them, but of course they are looking for satisfaction. They just want to be satisfied. And of course, the fact is that even when they go out, they hardly find the satisfaction because sex has to do with not just the practice of it, but other things that are related, and which are the things I want to share with you in this video. So the first approach is knowing how to satisfy your spouse. I know you want the same satisfaction to come to you, but of course it has to begin with you, because when you get your job done the right way and give your best, of course definitely is going to return back to you. Like what you sow is what you're going to reap. You understand that? So here are the secret desire of men from women during sexual intimacy. Number one is emotional connection. Like you have to get it that before you have sex, it's not just about the practice of sex or what goes on when the whole thing begins. It's about connecting with him emotionally. Men so much pant after women who connect with them emotionally. And that's why it looks as though sometimes you see a man who is in marriage looking elsewhere or going after a woman out there because he wants to feel connected. Think about the first time you had sexual intimacy with your husband. You can understand that there was so much emotional connection. And that was part of the things that made it much more impacting and fulfilling. So you cannot just have sex when there is no emotional connection. So emotional connection is one of the things that every man look out for even while they are having the sex. So the question is, how do you motivate him emotionally? Like, how do you connect with him emotionally before the sex begins? I understand that after marriage, familiarity, and even a whole lot of things is going on. Like, you are very busy and all that. But of course, you have to prioritize your sexual intercourse. So you have to begin by, remembering every good thing that, you once had with your spouse, you once had with your husband. Like, you remember the early days when you were dating or courting your husband ever before marriage. You always have the memory of his good, the memory of the good times you spent with him, of how nice he is to you, of how, good, like how concerned he is to you, like your life and all the good things he has done for you. These are the beautiful memories that will help your emotions to wake up, because you need your own emotion to agree first with the fact that you need him before you relate it to him and connect with him. So begin to think about the beautiful things about him. I know your husband isn't a perfect guy, like he isn't a perfect man. Of course, when you're living with someone, in many occasions you must have had some experiences where they didn't treat you very nicely or they were not good to you. Yes. But even when you have that, you have to understand that there are beautiful things about people that you can just decide to focus on. So begin to think about your spouse, what he has been for you, and everything your husband has done for you, and all the good things, how he has fought for you, been with you, or just think about, focus on the good things right now, because you are trying to create a beautiful moment. And when you focus on these beautiful things, it's going to help you to, begin to understand that this guy is a good guy. This man is just worth having me. This man is worth my pleasure. This man is what, I need to reciprocate, like I need to give back to him. And of course, one of the ways women give back to men when they are very much pleased is through sexual intercourse. I mean the ones who really want to give back, not the ones who plan to seduce a man. Like their motive being right is so important. So you have to understand that the good thoughts, your good ideas of him is going to help your emotions very well to connect with him. And after you are done thinking about him, the next thing you should start thinking about is, how you want to feel. Just think about the sexual intimacy you're going to have with him. Your memory is important. Like create from your mind what you feel you are going to have in the experience. Yes, it's so important. So it first begins from your mind, and your mind will condition your feelings. Then you begin to relate with him. That is when you now text him. You can send him a text message, you can give him a phone call, depending on where he is. And if he's around, you can just whisper to his ear, you can just, do few things just to make him to feel that there is something about you. And that, of course, is going to inspire positive thought about you, because he needs to think positively about you to connect emotionally with you. And that's very important. So when you begin with the right emotional connection, is going to help you to prepare for the practice. So connecting emotionally is a good way to prepare him for what is about to happen, and also to prepare yourself for what is about to kick off. And of course, that makes everything very lovely when the practice finally begins. So number two is respect his boundaries in the practice. It's so important to know what your spouse wants, like know what your husband wants when you are having sexual intercourse with him. Every man is different, like every man is unique. Like just like you eat food, you have some certain food that are actually your favorites. That is the way it is when sexual intercourse is involved. You need to really understand what he wants. Of course, you have been with him for some time now, and of course, you should be able to know what turns him on. Now, I understand the very fact that you want him to reciprocate, like give it back to you the way you want it, but now it's not about you. Remember, this video is about how to give him what he wants, like the secret things that men want from women during sexual intercourse. So it's now about him. The focus is on him. Yes, you can actually reach out to him later after you've given him a beautiful moment, and then begin to tell him what you expect from him and what you want from him. And trust me, he's going to respond very well to that. So it's all about him. So try to find out what makes him happy, what really turns him on, and the way he wants it to be done. So tone down on what you want, how you want it, how you want to be feel. Because the problem with sexual intercourse sometimes when couples are having it is that both parties are expecting themselves to fulfill, like you are expecting your partner to respond the right way, and your partner is expecting you to respond the right way, and that way nobody is acting, nobody is giving. I understand that it should be, very balanced, but of course it can begin with you, begin from you. I believe that you can teach people how to carry you by first of all giving them the right hand. So if you can give him the right hand, trust me, he's going to turn it back to you. Not just that he's going to come back for you, but he's going to trust you more, love you more. And of course, when a man is sexually satisfied, he is willing to do some crazy things for you. And of course, you can ask anything. And trust me, he's willing to divide half of his kingdom, especially if you are his wife. I'm not talking about side chicks. Okay, so number three is give him the right response during the practice. Like make him feel that you are satisfied with what you are getting. Like make him feel like he's doing the right job. Just like when someone is playing a game and you are cheering him up and you're trying to get him to do better than before or what he's doing already. So You have to really bring up your expression, your good words, and your, just make it interesting, make it look like you are actually participating, like both of you are in this together. So your expression is very important. You can express yourself by words, you can express yourself by feelings, excitement. Some men like it when you scream, and it depends on what works for you. So understand that your response and your expression is very important. So during sexual intercourse, every man desires that, like most men, if not all the men, desires that you give them the right response during your sexual intercourse. Number four is be creative. Like you can be creative. Sex mustn't always happen in the bedroom. Like it can be in the bathroom, it can be in different places. It can happen anywhere. I understand that if you have kids, that could be a little bit challenging, but of course, the kids are not always around. And of course, if you put your mind to it, you can create a very good, beautiful environment inside the house or even outside the house, and make sure that you get to it. So you have to be creative about your sexual life. You don't always have to do it the same way, go the same way. You just have to be creative. Like, of course, life is about growth, life is about improvement. Of course, you should just try to improve in some certain areas and some certain things just to satisfy your man. Because if you do that, he will believe that you always have him in mind. Like you can decide to show up sometimes when he wasn't even expecting it. Like I see some women in movies and even real life experience. They just get to the office and try to make their husband feel comfortable, like making everywhere light up, or even dressing sexy. Be intentional about looking sexy. Plan about that and prioritize that. Even changing the bed sheet can be a good way to get your husband see that you respect and love the fact that he plays a very important role during your sexual intercourse. Another thing that men badly want from women secretly during sexual intercourse is a woman that is playful. Like you have to intentionally learn how to be playful. You mustn't just get into the practice, not really expressing. Sometimes he wants to know what you think, whether you even want him, whether he's good enough, and all that. And being playful is a good way to tell him that you are excited about this and you want him. So you can decide to throw pillows at yourself. You can decide to pour him water, do some crazy stuff, and make him laugh where you have to. Just turn him on, and that is a good way to help him relieve the stress and pressure or anything that he has been through during the day or in the day while the day is still going on. Just try to bring the tensions down and make him forget every other thing. And of course, that gets his focus at you at that moment because you're making him laugh and making him feel good. And of course, as you're working on him this way, you're also working yourself, and that is really impacting your relationship in such a way that you don't even know. So finally, number six is affirmation. Men don't joke with a woman who affirms them. Like in everything, men loves affirmation. So if you really want him to enjoy its sexual intercourse with you, and this is one of the major secrets, like affirm his effort, like all the things that he has done to make sure that your sexual life is very great. You have to affirm him, even when you feel that he has not given you the best kind of sexual experience. You can, of course, affirm him, because if you do that, it's going to inspire him to go extra mile to bring some things alive and try to impact you even the more. So affirming him before the intercourse or after the intercourse is a very beautiful way to make him feel much more crazy about you during the experience. And trust me, if you can do this, you are going to make a positive impact in your sexual life with your man, because these are the things they cannot tell you, but these are the secret things they want. It's not just about jumping on a woman and coming down. Like a man can actually sleep with a prostitute he has no connection with. A man can do anything with people they don't love, and of course, they are keeping the relationship just because they want that. But it's not enough. They keep going back, they keep hunting, they keep looking for it until they find these things in you, the wife. And trust me, as a wife, you have this special role. This is one of your commitments, and equally one of the vows you took before God, that you are going to submit your body to your husband and you're going to satisfy him. And of course, you have to be intentional about this. I see women who neglect their sexual life. They don't care about it. They don't care. Like they get angry. Some of them monetize their sexual life, and it's crazy. I don't know why they do that. You are not fulfilling your marriage vows when you do so. And of course, you have to wake up and begin to do the right thing, because you will be more blessed in your marriage when you satisfy your husband sexually and in every other thing, because that's where you are actually fulfilling your role. And of course, he has to return it. And when he doesn't return it, It's up to him to face the consequences of what is coming for him. But it is not for you to judge him by your actions, by trying to make him feel uncomfortable. I hope this video inspires you and blesses you. If it does, please give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, ask your questions, and equally share the video if you like it. Most people don't like talking about it. This is supposed to be a private teaching and a private class, and there is still so much to talk about sex when it has to do with sexual intercourse in marriage. And if you want more, if you want to understand more, if you're having any struggle with your sexual life, intimacy with your husband, with your in your marriage, you can write me. I'm going to help you to navigate around it and get yourself on track. Like, so many people don't like talking about this, and of course they make it a private class and even a paid class, but I decided to give you these tips because these few tips are the foundational things that if you begin to practice it, you are going to improve in your sexual life and your sexual intercourse with your man. And trust me, these are the things that men secretly want from women during sexual intercourse that they may not or never talk about or tell you before your face. Thank you for watching and God bless you. My name is Esther Christian. Subscribe and don't forget to subscribe. Click the subscribe button to get more messages and more tips on relationship. God bless you.